What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got a special treat for you tonight. We got RG joining us. Farrell's here. Don't even call me man of the people when RG's in the building because he is the true man of the people. Gameplay designer here at EA by day, broadcaster by night. He's got some special stuff he wants to break down with us and really kind of go into some of the details of what's happening in Madden 20 for the hardcore player out there. So, welcome.
No, thanks, Falls, and don't sell yourself short, dude. You're the legend yourself over here, man. You can't.
All good. I appreciate that. You're the man. You're the man. Let's relax it up, man. We got Madden 20. We just had A-Dub crush it. It's like going on after like a legendary
How
performance.
unbelievable is A-Dub? And like real quick before we even get into it, I just gotta say he's just like so phenomenal. I'm surprised like an NFL team hasn't just stolen from us yet. And the work he did with RPOs, and shout out to Sid who worked on that. Was probably fixing bugs back there. I mean, those guys are just really special people and just awesome to work with. So
yeah, we always, like when we do these streams, the goal is to introduce you to this talent that we have here at the studio. And one of the big things when you come to like a Gamechanger event is there's always a session where A-Dub draws on a whiteboard for over 3 hours, and you learn just so much. And so like that is a little bit of what we wanted to give to you, and I think you got to start to see that. And we'll continue to go more in depth with that. But that's kind of the experience we're going for on these streams. So
for sure,
shout out to everyone for coming out and supporting. The real nitty-gritty detail. There was a good chunk of meat in part 1. Obviously, the part 2 blog will be coming out right now. We just previewed some of those 200 plays. We gave you some samples. But for the hardcore player out there, what are some of the things that were the meta this year or that you're really working on and focusing with your team?
Yeah, no, there's a ton of stuff I'm excited to share. We'll get through it. A lot of the stuff is we play the game as much as our users do. We play a lot. A lot of people in the office play. So each year we're able to identify, some of those pain points or some of the areas where we obviously know we can improve there and make things more fun, more realistic. So yeah, I mean, if you want, we could just go right in.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. You guys just let me kind of go off like,
Give me those sheets. Let me see those. Yeah.
Glenn and A-Dub got like a whole structure of things. You guys are like, hey, just list the stuff that you kind of like. So the first thing for me is kind of locomotion improvements. And what that really is just like movement in general. If last year was the real player motion year, this year is definitely like real player motion 2.0. And what I mean by that is when you're playing a game, like what's the most important thing? It's moving your guy with the left stick. Like any video game, whether it's Madden, anything, control responsiveness is super important. And this year more than ever, I feel like my ball carrier, we just did a really good job of making them feel that responsive. Like when you see a hole open up, you're actually able to hit that hole, and it feels amazing. So just starting with the basics, just pure movement, by far one of my favorite things. That's on the offense and defensive side of the ball. The QA guys love how pursuit feels, how lurking around feels, responsiveness-wise. And yeah, just the ball carrier, you're just really able to make big plays with them.
Probably the first thing when you pick up the game, it's the most noticeable piece is like the left stick running feels better. I've asked a lot of people in the studio, I'm like, hey, how come? And they just said it's kind of 2.0. It's kind of the evolution of it. And it so enjoyable to have that left stick, just to see where you want to go and be able to get there and really feel good. It's definitely the first thing I noticed when I played. So
for sure. So we had to call that out. A couple other things that are like in that area that I also really like are ball carrier moves. For example, like I don't know about you guys, but stiff arm for a long time just didn't feel like a great move for me. That was one of those things when we play the game, we realized like, wow, there really is room for improvement here. So stiff arm especially feels a lot better for the ball carrier, especially like in this situation. You know how like, before if you were head on, I could kind of stiff arm you, but when a guy was to your side, it was kind of hard. But that's like one of the best times you want to stiff arm.
Yeah, those back
long
run,
if I need to get you out of
away.
here. So now like if a guy's coming from your side or he's behind you, you can actually match a really nice animation, keep him at bay. Really cool stuff.
So the only thing when you're turning, you're getting nice and animated, your microphone's staying here, so we're losing you a little bit of audio.
That's sorry,
it's the passion.
You've been at the caster desk with me, dude. You know how we
get. He leans in. He leans right in. They have better technology than we do here in the hallway, but it's all good. We do our best.
I'll try to stay still. Also with the ball carrier, fake outs seem better tuned, especially for the user. We know people gave us the feedback. It's okay when you fake out my AI defender, but when you fake out my user defender, I get pulled into some sort of animation. Not a great feeling. So the users rarely ever get faked out. And another thing with spin and jukes, which to me are your fake out mechanics, One thing we did is we kept those as fake out mechanics, so you won't get as many of those broken tackles. That kind of felt fluky with those. Like if I spun into you and spun into the tackle and then all of a sudden broke it, it's like, wait a minute, you weren't trying to break that tackle, you were trying to spin to get away from me. So we tuned that. That's to me like really phenomenal. It really helped balance juke and spin, and also give the defensive user just the viable options he needs to counter it.
We got a little settings menu. We went in. I think we may have a look at that. That might be something that could lead us into more conversations about some of the things that have been changed around or different or not different. So let us know that.
So the main thing here that you want to look at, and to anyone that really played, I'm sure you'll be happy about this. We removed the auto strafe functionality. It's off now by default. We got a lot of feedback from a lot of different cohorts that just said this mechanic is pretty much useless. It's a pain point, and we just didn't even want to give anybody the option to hurt themselves with auto strafe anymore, so we removed it. The other big thing that we did within the settings was we default ball hawk to on now, no matter what. Last year, if you went to all Madden, you could go into situations where ball hawk would default to off, and if we're being honest, the way that this game is built and designed and the way that we get your best experience is when ball hawk's on. It's going to give you the best chance of defense, so we didn't want to turn that off for people without them really knowing. Now, if you want to turn that off, you have that option, but you're blatantly going to have to be the one to do that. I recommend if you play the game that you play with ball hawk on. But yeah, it's a small change, but I think it will help a lot of people, because I know I would catch myself having to go in the settings menu and say, is my ball hawk off? Like, what's going on when something didn't go my way? So we kind of eliminated it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We got a little bit more on the list here. We talked a little bit about the shed defense, or we haven't quite hit on that yet, but conservative tackle tuning, things like that. What else you got for the fans out there?
There's a ton of them. Like I said, I don't have like a huge, robust feature set like these guys. Just some of my favorite improvements. Strip ball, that's another one. One of my least favorite things about last year that we got a lot of feedback on was how easy it was to just spam strip ball. If I was behind you, I could just keep hitting RB until I matched one of those animations. And a lot of people didn't like that. It didn't feel very skillful for a mechanic that was so impactful. So we found the bugs there. So now strip ball is very responsive. If you mistime it and you're not in the window, you're going to play one of those with animations. So it just adds additional risk to that mechanic, which we felt was much needed. And everyone who's played with it, we really like that change so far. Another big one. So you all know, like, when you used to get an interception and then you stumble after the interception. Like, you have the pick six, but for whatever reason, you trip over your own feet, and it's really frustrating. Like, we've all been there.
Especially because I don't get that many interceptions. So, like, when I do get them, I can't score in the red zone either, so I need to capitalize.
We definitely just more work with our stumble logic, and it's just so much more improved about seeing your ball carrier kind of trip when they shouldn't be. It takes a lot more force to get them into that state now. So intercepting just naturally feels so much smoother with that change. You'll see it in other places, but interceptions is the main place that we're really feeling.
One other thing, how about anything with aggressive, conservative tuning, adjustments, anything in that area of the game that you guys touched on or would add anything to?
Say it again?
Anything about like aggressive
coaching adjustments?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the coaching adjustments, we have some stuff we're working on. One thing that we've definitely done is we removed the pass rush coaching adjustment. It's, I believe, accounted for now, and enough abilities, and there's enough good ways to get pass rush. Without that, it caused us a lot of problems throughout the year, tuning-wise balance. When we talked to a lot of our game changers and people who played, they just felt the game would be more balanced without it. We could spend our dev resources elsewhere. So that one is gone. And then we have a few other tricks up our sleeves for that menu, but nothing that I think I can share right now.
Well, we'll have this platform going forward. Obviously, the goal here on this show is to tell you more about the game, Madden 20. And, of course, at EA Play, we will show you even more. We do have a little something to show you down here. I can't read it, but I think you know exactly what it is. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about these wide receiver hot routes here in Madden 20.
That is super dope. So what you're seeing right now is we did a lot of work to some of our legacy abilities, and one of those abilities in MUT, for those that aren't familiar with them, some of them were route chems. And what those route chems did last year was they pretty much just changed some of your hot routes by default. So how you had the 8 default hot routes that you see on the left, we would just change some of those. This year, now with the route chems, instead of taking away routes from you, we give you an additional 4. So what you're seeing right here is this would be a wide receiver who has a slot receiver route chem. So what that means is when he aligns in the slot receiver position, he's going to get those 4 additional hot routes that you see on the right that are on the D-pad, which is the crossing route, the post route, the corner, and the stop and go. And the cool thing about that is that's just the hot routes if you had a slot receiver. You could have an ability that says, hey, if you're an outside specialist receiver, then when you're on the outside, you get 4 additional routes. You can combo them where sometimes it's a guy that, no matter where he aligns at the receiver position, he gets 4 additional ones. You'll have certain receiving backs that get additional hot routes when they're in the backfield, tight ends that get it when they're in the tight end position. And then the ultimate route chem that I'm most excited about is for our pocket passer, field general type of guys. They'll be able to get an ability which no matter who they're hot routing, they'll have the 4 additional hot route options. So this just gives you a great way to get creative, way more strategy at the line of scrimmage. A-Dub already does a lot of work with playbooks, but this was the type of thing that we felt would really help separate how efficient certain players are when it comes to strategy and just strictly scheming with them, not just what they do on the field. So that's one of my favorite abilities by far.
That's sweet. That's sweet. That's
super
sweet.
Dope, right?
You look at your list and consider anything else you want to add. I got Twitter guy over here. He's in the chat right now. They're breaking down some questions. Anything that came up. I know tomorrow on Gridiron Notes we'll actually break down your exact questions that you have. One of those things will be the blocking on RPOs, kind of how that works. I know A-Dub talked to it a little bit, but that's been the main question is blocking in relation to RPOs. We'll cover that on the Gridiron Notes blog tomorrow. That's a blog where we go in, break down your topics. Anything we missed, we'll cover it there. We'll put highlights to the stream and kind of do all that. Right now as well, there's a blog that's gone live or is about to go live. Gameplay Part 2 should be coming pretty soon here, and you'll want to check that out. It's live. It's out there. We'll go in and get it. Agent K, what do you got for me? The scoreboard. Is it live? People want to know about the scoreboard. They want to know if it got an update and overhaul. So tune in at EA Play to find out about that scoreboard. Little tease. Maybe we'll tell you the night before to remind you to tune in. But don't worry out there. That is probably the #1 question I see on Twitter is, did the scoreboard get an update? People love it, and we'll have to see. That's called a tease in the biz. We'll have to see what we can do. Anything else you want to add that you feel like we didn't get to?
I don't want to take too much of your time. I'll try to
we
get
have
to
all
it
the time in the world.
Quickly. Another thing is shed defenses. We hear a lot from people. It's those nickel 3-3-5 formations, those big nickel formations where you can have defenders, pass rushers that weren't really that great, and they can get those kind of pre-canned animations that really get downfield at the quarterback. They would disengage at the end of them, and they would just cause all kind of havoc, probably more havoc than they should be causing for the quality of pass rusher that players were putting out there. We've done a lot of work to just improve those interactions. When the guys get a loss animation, instead of disengaging and getting at the quarterback, they'll stay engaged with the blocker. You won't have as good of a chance to even trigger those animations if you're not an elite style type of pass rusher. So just some really good things put in place to help us control those styles of defenses and really balance that area. Another big thing in that space, Falls, is we noticed last year a lot of people with the Lamar Jacksons and the Mike Vicks running backwards super far, chucking passes that a piece of my soul would just go away every time I saw one of those videos. So this year there's just been some really good changes that when you run back a certain amount of yards, your pass icons will disappear, making it much harder for you to throw, and there's an additional inaccuracy penalty once you start running backwards to make throws like that. It really helps solve that area of the game, which I feel like got pretty unbalanced.
Yeah,
toward
and
the
I
end
think
of Madden 19.
there was some changes to QB contains as well, which we can add to the Gridiron Notes unless you want to add anything on that. But that is another big thing. So the 3 biggest things when I play: #1, left stick movement, huge. #2, elite pass rushers, really dominating games, and I think that plays to the stars feel like stars. And then #3.
The lurking's big. The one Clint talking about,
yes,
where the linebackers not being able to just, jump up and make these super plays anymore. And, with pass trajectory, you actually have to get your defender in a realistic position to make some of those plays on the ball. I mean, nobody respects stick work more than me. I want people to be able to show their stick work off and make plays. It just got to a point where it was just blatantly too easy. So now you're going to have to work for those interceptions, and I think that's a good thing. It's really going to open up the game for a lot of people and make people work the way we want them to.
Yeah, you got to get into good habits, Matt. I was dropping too far back passes. I would throw an inaccurate pass. I get mad at the game, and then they'd go, you were 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You're not going to have an accurate pass from there. Why would you roll back that way? And it's just your left thumb takes over, and you got to make sure you're having good habits in the game. So thank you very much for coming out here, man.
Thanks
you
for
got
having
anything
me.
else we want to add in?
No, thank you for all you guys do. Thank you to the community for tuning in, for supporting us. Really excited about Madden 20. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it, share your feedback with us. But I think it's going to be a really good year. This is some of the biggest strides I've ever seen Madden take, and Madden's been a part of my life for going on longer than I want to share now. Yeah. So I'm really excited about it.
All right, that is it for the gameplay stream. We do have a couple housekeeping notes we'll have to get to. You'll have to sit and bear it through these, but we'll try and make it fun. So I know giveaway Gabby's got Nightbot up in the back because we want to give away some kahunas that we gave away earlier today. We're also going to extend the opportunity on Twitter. So if you go right now and send a positive message to RG_Madden, positive messages only, tell them something you learned, tell them something you're excited about. We'll extend that as well to A-Dub. His Twitter's AWhite73. You can find it out there. And then, of course, Clint Oldenburg. We'll give away one kahuna to folks that go send positive messages to those folks. These guys share their time. It's late here. A lot of folks still working, but they're hanging out. They don't have to do this. They do it because they want to give you that information. So we want to reward them with some positivity as we go out here. We're going to roll a kahuna here from Giveaway Gabby for the Twitch chat. We'll do 3 of those real quick. And the Madden Minute here, just to recap, we talked a little bit earlier about the 3 new types of RPOs in Madden 20, the peaks, the reads, the alerts. We also talked about one new trick play here in the Philly special, and then we also showed you those new Rams jet sweep handoffs. You have the 2 different types. You have the shotgun types and the under center types.
As a Patriots fan who sits next to A-Dub, do you know how gross it is to turn around one day and see him building Philly special right on the screen behind you? It's just like, oh. It needs to happen. Hold that LRG.
We also showed you some of those, pitches and tosses and the ability to kind of build
plays.
Put it
on the screen.
Over 200 new RPOs. So over 200 new RPOs coming to Madden this year. I know we just showed you a little sample right there, but don't be fooled. There's a lot. And, of course, there'll be live service offensive playbook updates and defensive playbook updates after the year rolls out more than before. As they started in Madden 19, Madden 20 really looking to take that to the next level. So that is the recap of the stream. Go read that blog. We got the giveaways coming in here shortly. I know you've all gone over to Twitter and started to get those positive messages out to Clint, to RG, to A-Dub. Put Gabby on the spot. But you know what? That's how we roll. We rolling it? All right, first winner in the Twitch chat tonight for a kahuna. Rafer Alston. Yes.
Rafer Alston.
Yes, Rafer Alston.
Very creative.
Yes. We've
Very
got
creative.
A great ball player. Great player. He's a winner. I would like to remind you tomorrow, it's Fan Appreciation in Madden Ultimate Team. So that's a new promo coming to Madden Ultimate Team tomorrow. We've got Fan Appreciation. Tune in to Madden Daily Drops tomorrow at 10:30, and we'll actually give you all the details on that one. That was our first winner. We're going to go ahead and roll 2 more winners here for a chance. No small giveaways, only kahunas only. That'll be 6 kahunas.
The kahunas, they're getting vintage content here, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're blessing them.
Barry Sanders, at least 13
the good stuff.
Items of 99 rated.
Mute is cool.
Mute
That's
is
my
cool.
guy, dude.
Arturo
Mute.
Solano?
Huh? What? The government name.
Mute is cool. Oh, yeah.
That's
Mute is cool. Chargers Club Series? Or
Niners, I believe
Niners
it was.
Club Championship?
Mute's my guy, man. I'm happy for you, Mute.
I like Mute. Good dude. Good dude.
That was a funny coincidence.
We got one more flying in. Mr. Andriola.
I'm happy for you. I don't know him like Mute is cool, but I'm happy
Jim
for
Stevens? Not Jim Stevens. The chat dislikes when I know the winners. They don't love it because they feel like
might
it's,
think the fix is in.
Yeah,
Point shaving. Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Gibbs
with that
is the
stuff.
fix guy. I'm the natural guy.
All integrity.
That's how we do it.
All
Yeah.
integrity with Farls.
Roll one more, Gabby.
Keep
Roll one
him.
more.
Bless him. Go, Gab.
Remember, fan appreciation tomorrow inside Madden Ultimate Team. Shucka's 28.
You go, Shuckers.
Shucka's 28. Winner.
There you go,
winner. All right, so if you did not win in the Twitch chat tonight, we obviously have those 3 opportunities on Twitter, to RG, to A-Dub, to Clint. That is all here for the gameplay stream. We appreciate you coming out. We got to hit you with the survey, though, in the chat. Survey links coming out. This is very important. Remember, if we get 1,000 responses on a single survey this season, S. Gibbs will shave his head. That is what we need so that we can keep our jobs here. We need a lot of survey responses, plus we need S. Gibbs to shave his head at 1,000 responses. We only got to like 500 last time, so.
Gibbs is like known for his lettuce, too. I can't believe he's putting up the lettuce.
He needs this. He needed boss to say, hey, what's
Crazy.
the survey say? He needs to get out there, so he's willing to put it all on the line. He's got some skin in the game here. Got some hair in the game, as they say. All right. Twitter guy, anything else that they're saying out there? Twitter's taking over. All right. We're out of here. See you next time. Shout out to RG. Thank you for coming out, sharing those deets. We'll talk soon. S. Gibbs, put that graphic up. Get us out of here.
That's all, folks.